Oh, look, a viewer. How's it going, everyone? Oh, up so I can monitor what I need to. Update. Stop. Am I even? I can't tell if it's streaming or not. Ooh, that's bad quality. I can't tell if it's streaming. Let's see. Well. Well, that's as good as it's gonna get. I'm literally in the hood. It's a hotel with not great service running off of 4G. So sorry about that. I hope you can at least hear me. Oh, really? Damn. Let me just turn my laptop off. Maybe that's pulling too much. Let's monitor from here. The cookbook's coming along. I've been at the beach for the past since Thursday, so the past 4 days. I haven't done too much with it in those 4 days, but I've been adding a recipe just on the pages and trying to get it to make sense, basically, because everything's just kind of scattered and random. So I don't really know. It's definitely going to be. It'll be easy getting the actual written recipes down, but it's gonna be hard to like visualize like how things are gonna go within the book. Turkey neck casserole. All right, Matt. But it's coming along. It's coming along. I'm ready to start getting some pictures taken for the book. You know, I was debating on using the pictures I have already for these recipes, but they're very, I don't know, they're okay. They're just not done in the way I want them to be. They kind of look like I'm in a dark kitchen, because that's where they're taken typically. Well, a dark commercial kitchen too, with stainless in the background of it, and I'm just not about that. What I plan on doing is building some like fake sets, like kitchen counter sets, and just having some way to make it interchangeable. Like I'll put down like a tile countertop and then something backsplash, and I can interchange like between 2 or 3 of those. And as soon as I get that built, that'll be my main backdrop, and it should keep it pretty interesting. Well, hopefully, if I can get it looking nice enough, it should keep it pretty interesting. So there's not much in the way of materials to make that, and I think it'd be well worth the effort. But turkey neck casserole sounds very filled with bones, so I don't really know why you would do that. There we go. So yeah, I still don't know what to do with this. Just kind of talking. Anybody have any questions, or what did I don't know, what'd you have for dinner? I really don't know what to do with this. Apparently somebody had turkey neck casserole. Sounds pretty bad. Well, I guess you don't have to ask anything. I will say, here, how about that? How long have you been a chef? I've been a chef for the past 4 years, and I've been in this industry for 8 years, almost 9 years maybe. I'm trying to remember. 4, 6, 8 years. It'll be 8 years in like June or something. And yeah. But I ended up as a chef as this last place I was working at just because I kind of needed it. Shrimp and butter sauce, smash burgers, eggs, and steak. All sounds like good stuff. I cleaned a tenderloin at the restaurant for the grill cook, and I had leftover clean tenderloin, which was damn good. Beef tenderloin. Hola. But yeah, I don't know much about your weight loss journey. Can I ask you how you started out? Did you start out keto and low carb and then transition into carnivore? It just seems like a natural progression. So I started in I've been trying to lose weight my whole life, basically. I've been a very large individual. And I remember in 7th grade, I weighed 300 pounds, which is crazy to think about because I weighed like 15 pounds more than that right now. But about 2012, I was kind of introduced to paleo and stuff like that. Probably lost, because at my highest I weighed 415 and I lost about 40 pounds on paleo. And then my dad had a heart attack in 2013, and that was a big motivator for me to eat healthy, and then I figured out keto. And so when I went keto, I went from about 365, 370 to 285 at my lowest. That was the first time I lost weight. And actually, I need to find some pictures of when I was 285 because I look like skinny and it looks weird still. Because, you know, I was lifting weights and all that stuff, but I didn't really have much in the way of muscle mass. I mean, I had muscle mass, but not like I have now. Yeah, got down to 285, started working in restaurants because I couldn't do customer service anymore. Otherwise, I might actually fight somebody. And just started gaining weight slowly, working at restaurants, you know, grabbing handfuls of fries, and it was the stress with it, the standing for 12 plus hours at a time, just the sheer the ADHD nature of it all, kind of accumulated all that weight back. And but over the course of like 6 years, I gained the weight back I got back to 398 before I started carnivore. And then carnivore just kind of made sense. I was only scared to do it because I didn't really understand it. But keto had gotten to the point where it was there was too many like snack options available that were just, you know, not good for you. Like there's all the sugar-free candy and these keto like little snack things like the Atkins products and stuff like that. And it was just you know, it was just a good way for me to binge eat pretty much. So eventually, you know, carnivore started gaining more popularity, and then I saw Joe Rogan do it, and he's somebody I look up to, and it just kind of motivated me to try it. So stuck with it pretty quick because it was you know, it worked fast, so it did what I wanted to do, because I really wanted it to help with my mental health, because at that point it was just bad. And it did that, and it still does that. So and I have a lot of people that ask me about my weight, and I don't care about my weight anymore. It's really, I do this to keep my mental game much stronger than it would be otherwise, because this is really the only thing that will keep me on point. Like otherwise I just fall into a depression hole, and it's super easy to do so. Like I said, I was at the beach the past like 4 days, and I ate like absolute garbage. And I feel it. I feel the mild depression, but you know, I jump back on it today on my diet today, and I feel much better. And it's gonna take time, but you know. Did you get formal training or on the job? I got on the job training, and really, whenever I say chef, a lot of people think chef is a different thing than what it probably really is. A chef is really just a leader in the kitchen. they can be, and they know exactly, like, they know recipes and they know how to make things, and but really a chef is like the leader. That's people who people turn to for when they have questions like, is this gluten free? And you should know that it's gluten free, or how do I prepare this? You know, it's this kind of stuff. But when I started out, I didn't realize I was being a chef, quote unquote. But I was really interested in making dishes, and just kind of in the process of doing that, I just kind of became a chef as things kept going. Because really, I came in as like a manager, just doing inventory and ordering things, and got to the point really quickly that I was like, hey, I'll make some special dishes for, you know, the week, and try to bring in more regular customers. And it's just kind of how that happened. And ever since then, just been kind of doing that, and leading a team, and yeah, so it's on the job. I didn't actually go to school for this. Let's see. No to keto snacks. So off my depression's man and went carnivore. Well, glad it's working for you. It's awesome. I've attempted carnivore in the past, felt like I ate the same thing every day. How do you keep from getting into an eating rut? That's really where you want to ask yourself why you're doing it. A lot of people do this to lose weight. I find personally that whenever my goal is to lose weight, I don't stick to it. Because it's not really a good goal. It's constantly fluctuating. Things are going up and down every single day. Hell, even within the hour, like your weight's going to change. So it's yeah, but it's really a matter of like why you want to do it. And if you want a more realistic answer besides the motivating answer, it's figure out how to add new textures to things, add ways to cook things. Like instead of making scrambled eggs one day, you learn how to poach eggs, and now you have a new way to eat eggs, and it's different, it's a better texture. You might do it for a week straight because it's so new and you might like it a lot, and I get tired of it, and then you're like, I want to learn how to fry eggs, or I start sous videing steaks and finish them off on the grill and it gets a little bit different flavor, or I want to top my whatever with like pork rind so I get something crunchy on there. And that's really what I found that helps me get through those kind of ruts. But lately, like if I'm eating, it's been economical because everything's so expensive right now. And I found that I can get by over probably a couple months at a time eating pretty much the same thing every day. And yeah, I'll go crazy eventually, and then I'll just change it up. Thanks for being so open and willing to share. Yep, you're welcome. Never get tired of bacon and eggs. I eat them every day for my first meal. Yeah, I did that when I was keto. I ate every single day. And it's how I learned how to cook eggs. It's really where I learned how to cook in general. So I would eat, well, it started off with paleo. So when I was paleo, I'd get a sweet potato, and I would eat half a sweet potato shredded up, cooked in butter, with 5 eggs and 3 strips of bacon. And then when I went keto, I would eat 5 eggs and 5 strips of bacon every single day for my breakfast. Well, I was also intermittent fasting, so I was fasting from 8 p.m. to 2 p.m. and I would eat between 2 and 8, so I had a 6-hour window. And yeah, that would be my breakfast every single day. At 2 p.m. would be 5 strips of bacon and 5 eggs cooked in the bacon grease, and it worked out. It worked well too. Because whenever I was keto, I was living with my family, and we would take turns of like who would make dinner or like who would buy dinner. And if it was my brother's turn that week, he'd usually get some garbage. Typically, he'd get like he'd go to Little Caesars or something to get a few pizzas, or he'd get, you know, hamburger helper or something like that. And if you got pizza, what I would do is I would make eggs and then scrape pizza toppings off and piss everybody off by throwing away the crust. So there was always a workaround with it. sugar, tire, scrambled eggs, some goat cheese and bacon. Yeah, I found that I've been really enjoying goat cheese a lot more lately. My second meal of the day has typically been a pound of ground beef with like one of those 4-ounce logs of goat cheese, and yeah, it's been a nice dinner. Hey brother, glad you made it to the stream. Glad you made it, man. Yeah, and it's also, I can eat that whole block of goat cheese and I feel much better than I do if I just eat, you know, normal cheese. Which I guess I am lactose intolerant. I took a gut test and it said I was lacking in the bacteria that helps digest lactose, but I don't think the cheese was doing that much because cheese is typically a little bit lower in lactose, well, harder cheeses are. I think swapping to the goat cheese kind of helped that or mitigate it a little bit. Also, don't know much about goat cheese. It's also just good flavor. That tanginess kind of makes it just a little bit better. And Manchego sheep cheese is the bomb. I don't think I've ever seen sheep cheese in the store. I don't really know where I would get it, unless like Whole Foods or something like that has it, which we don't even have Whole Foods anymore. I find batch bacon always having it available in the fridge is very helpful. Goat cheese is the bomb. The tartness does it. Yeah, I agree. Batch making. I think batch making anything. Like for a little while, I was batch making burger patties and bacon and just keeping it, and I would just eat that all day. Have you made an ice cream? And can you fit ice cream sandwich ideas on the spot? Also pie crust for meat pies. I have made ice cream. I've done, what did I do? I did a liver ice cream, and a coffee ice cream, and a vanilla ice cream, and one of them I used honey. I think I used honey with the liver one. It was honey and beef liver. I used erythritol and vanilla with one, and maybe, I can't remember what the other one was. But I have made ice cream, and I don't really know about ice cream sandwiches. I'm trying to think of what I could use, and you could probably use the Hot Pocket and the pizza crust recipe and mix some cocoa powder in with it. It might actually be pretty close to a ice cream sandwich crust, which is a good idea. Maybe I'll try that. And as far as meat pies go, just I do a pretty simple crust, which is pork rinds and eggs. I think it's 1-to-1. You do 1 egg per 1 ounce of ground pork rinds, and that's just a good base for like any type of carnivore bread or crust you want to use. And it's, you know, it's kind of like a dough, and it's very easy to shape into a pie pan. So maybe looking at that, you might look into my carnivore quiche recipe if you want to check that out. I had to change my mindset. Now I eat for nutrition, not just pleasure. Yeah, absolutely. It's especially if you're not used to eating for nutrition. It's kind of a weird thing to kind of wrap your mind around. So I understand that completely. Costco is Manchego. I mean, that's cool. I wish I live in a van. If you can't tell, this is just some plywood against the wall, so it's kind of hard for me to justify a Costco membership when I don't have a fridge. Maybe one day I'll have a fridge, but I think I can get Manchego at like Publix and stuff like that, like a little 4-ounce block. It's just they don't have sheep's milk. Unless, is Manchego just sheep's milk? Is that how it's made? I don't really know. Hello, Mr. Chef. First time catching your live stream. Thought I'd say hello. Thank you for all the video. Hey, how you doing? I see you commenting on my posts all the time. Appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, that's one thing I think I need to try more of is different cheeses, because I've been pretty basic with it for a long time. I mean, I've definitely tried a big variety of them, but it's just I'm sure there's a lot more I could try to make it more interesting. Been making lots of your meals. The chili recipe and pizza 2 and 3 are amazing. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed those. Which chili recipe are you making? The chorizo or the original one? I posted you on Gab to the carnivore group. Awesome. Which carnivore group? I don't know which one you're talking about, but I appreciate it. And I really want to remake the the pizza recipe, the second pizza recipe. I saw somebody comment on it saying that it was really weird that there's no talking. Just want to take the video and add a voiceover to it and re-upload it. But I can't do anything about the camera because it was when I started, I just had a GoPro with like a head strap, and so it's got like jerking motions and stuff like that. So I'm sure it's kind of motion sicknessy going along with it. But so I've been kind of throwing around the idea of, hey, hi from Australia and hi from Illinois. How are y'all? So I've been kind of throwing around the idea of maybe making a podcast, but I don't know what it would be about. I would like to have, oh, hey. Oh, wait, I'm gonna read this real quick. Want to make a load of carnivore pinwheel sandwiches. Love cooking, but hate cooking for myself, mostly because I love prep and it's a lot for one. So having quick food helps. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Pinwheels sound nice too and easy. So I'd like to do a podcast, but I feel like I've got my hands in a lot of things within this, and I'd like to differentiate it from what I'm doing now and make it more food focused, maybe. I really don't know. I'd just like to do, I think the idea of doing a podcast is more appealing. I think I just need to try it to see if they'd even like it. But if it's anything like this, I think it'd be kind of fun, just like a little 20-minute podcast, and maybe have a guest to make it a little bit easier. So, I don't know. Maybe one day. Brie might be nice. Brie is good. Just bought a Ford Cutaway to live in. Love the idea of it. If any of you are interested in living in a vehicle, I suggest taking whatever vehicle you have right now, spending a weekend just living in it. Like, sleep in it, find places to park, figure out how to keep yourself safe, figure out how to keep yourself unnoticed. That's a lot of some good basic tips. If you have a gym membership, that'll be your best friend. Coffee shops are my best friend as far as like getting things done. That's usually where I edit my videos, is Panera Bread. Hotels are a nice place to park and do stuff at. It's usually quiet, like I'm outside of a hotel right now. So just a little thought. Hi, I really enjoy your channel. How long have you been doing this whole carnivore diet journey thing? I've been doing it for a little over 2.5 years now. Hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button. What are you doing not hitting the like button? Look at my meals. It's fuel, and now they're always exciting, but do the deed. Gotta wait to lose, and you can do it. That's awesome. Chorizo Chili. Oh, yeah, so that one was a fun one because I was going, where was I going? I might have been going to Savannah, Georgia, and I just picked up some chorizo because it looked, it was just kind of sitting at Walmart, and I just grabbed it and cooked it with some ground beef, and like immediately my thought was like, oh, this is just chili. It tastes like a chili that I had made no effort to make, and so I had that one for like 4 or 5 months written down, just waiting to do it. I don't know why it took me so long, but I'm glad I finally did it because it just worked out so well. In fact, I need to make that again and do something with it because it's so good. I think it'd be really good in a dip. I plan on taking my daughter's yard and being a nanny to my grandkids. That could be fun. And it'll be, it's cost effective and you have your own little space, for sure. Hope that works out for you. All your cookbook images could be turned black and white format in a coloring book to introduce children to. Are you selling it on Amazon? I mean, that's a good idea. Maybe I could find somebody to vector all the pictures too. That'd be interesting. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. I will have physical copies because I found that Barnes & Noble actually prints books. If because I don't have a publisher or anything like that. This will be all self-published, and that's the best option I've seen so far. Is as far as self-publishing goes for like a professional actual book. And I've tried to list things on Amazon before. It's not the easiest thing to do, especially if you're running it as a company. Because a lot of things you have to be verified with like barcodes and things like that if it's like a self-made product. And that alone is very expensive. I found that out with my seasoning company. So it might be just a Shopify site that I set up. I may just hire a website designer or you know, somebody that is good with websites. Like I can function through, like make my way through making one, but I'm gonna want this to look pretty good, and just sell it through that, and just, you know, have a physical inventory, which is gonna be the hard part. I'll have to figure out where I'm gonna keep all those, and so yeah. And at this point, it looks like I'll have about, well, current. And if you're if you know me, you've probably seen, I am working on a cookbook, and I have an Indiegogo. I don't have a link up right now. If anybody wants to type it, it's indiegogo.com/at/CarnivorousChef. And if you want to join that, you can do so. There are a few different tiers on there. There's an ebook tier. There's one where you get both the book and the ebook. And there's one where you get both the ebook and the book, and you'll be mentioned in all my promotions for the book and things like that. So if you're interested in that, if anybody wants to type that out for me, that'd be awesome. Yeah, and and so far it looks like I will have about 40 to send out to people, like physical copies to send out. And so the plan is to get 100 to have available, and then hopefully, you know, not sit on them for years. But even if I do, it'll be fine. I plan on giving a lot of them out as gifts to like family and friends. And I've had a good few friends that are supporting it too, and it's been pretty nice of them to do that. So yeah, that's that. Let's see. Need to go to bed. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, hope you have a good night. Over recipes, made a bunch of them. Your cooking skills and creativity are off the hook. What? For 2 years time in. Appreciate your uploads for sure. I'm new to it. Any advice to newbies? Looking forward to your cookbook. Basically, if you're new to this diet, figure out why you're doing it, and if you're ever falling off or feel like you need to, you know, take a break from it, just look back to the reasons why you're doing it. And this should be true for pretty much anything you do. If you're doing something with purpose, you'll do it well. And that's not to say that it won't be easy all the time, because it won't be. Like I said this earlier, if you didn't hear it, I've been at the beach for 4 days, and I ate like garbage for 4 days. And I'm paying for it now, but I'm back on track right now. And I know that's hard to hear, because I'm one of those people, or I used to be one of those people that would also just kind of stay falling off that track for a long time. But as I've gotten older and learned more about myself and who I am and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, I think the why I'm doing it is the biggest thing that helps me get back on track and steer in the right direction. So that's my advice to you, is to figure out why you're doing it. Yes, thank you for the recipes. I'm keto for seizure control, so carnivore recipes fit right in. Well, I'm glad they're working for you. I know that's been a very interesting thing I've learned about, for sure, since starting ketos, all the stuff about like seizures and stuff like that, which kind of makes sense, because it's just the way I'm not the one to explain that. Definitely not smart enough to walk through that one. But yeah, I'm just glad it's working out for you. I really am. I've never actually met anybody that's doing it for that reason, but definitely talked to a good handful of people, and it does work for them. Any tips on picking out tuna? Making seared tuna. It's getting expensive eating it at my favorite restaurants. I'm going to try to make it myself. It depends on where you live. If you're living in a coastal city, it should be pretty easy. I suggest getting like yellowfin or something like that. Stick to something you've definitely heard of, especially if you're in a coastal city and you're aware of like what's available near you in the ocean. Otherwise, it's likely going to be frozen, especially if you get it from a supermarket. Which, look, I don't mind eating some frozen raw tuna. We get the stuff at the restaurant that is from, I'm trying to remember. It's an Asian country. We get frozen raw, well, you know, it's frozen tuna from an Asian country. But it's, you know, it's good enough that I'll eat it raw. You know, if you have an issue with, yeah, then you should be fine. If you can find a fish market that has fresh tuna and they advertise fresh tuna, just pick up something that looks good. Like, you'll know, if you know what your tuna looks like that you eat at the restaurant, you'll know it looks good to get at a market. Hello, Mr. Chef. Thank you for what you're doing. I'll tap at you in the comment section. Have an excellent evening. It's you as well, buddy. So, I'm not an expert on tuna by any means, but you know, like the really light pink flesh stuff is typically dyed. The really deep red tuna is typically what's fresh. So, and those might be two different types of tuna. Like I said, I'm not an expert by any means, but just if you see that it's advertised as fresh, just go for it. I wouldn't even worry about it. Went carnivore for 4 months, down 28 pounds. Thanks to your recipes, and IBS symptoms are non-existent. Just know you're helping people out here. Thanks. Hey, I'm glad. I'm really happy to hear that it's working out for you. I know that could be. It's got to be frustrating having those issues, and probably not getting much in the way of help from doctors or medicines or like good solutions. And glad you found something that works for you. All right. What time is it? 8:56. I'm gonna go for about 5 more minutes and we'll get off of here. It's getting a little warm in this van. But you're very welcome. How did the trash cheese come about? Haha, yeah, it's the bottom of the barrel, but I've never heard it called trash cheese. Real sneeze slapper. Yes, it is a cargo van. This is a 2014 Ford Transit Connect XL. So, hell, for a long time, I've always, because, you know, everybody, I don't know why, but people see cheddar cheese as superior on cheeseburgers, and it's just not. It's not nearly as flavorful as trash cheese is, and so I've always said American cheese is just, you know, it's what's good on burgers, and you know, started suddenly eating a lot of burgers and wanted it, and you know, so a lot of the times it is garbage. It's pure like seed oils and emulsifiers, but the stuff I get is typically whole milk, whole or skim milk with emulsifiers and actually no seed oil. So just be on the lookout for what you're looking for. You know, just look for better ingredients on that kind of stuff. And it's not hard to do. I know craft singles are a good place to go already. So yeah. I was so glad I stumbled into your videos. Cannot find any good for me breakfast sausage. Do you make your own? Thank you for what you do and share. Yeah, I don't make my own. I have a own. I'll do it like just sporadically. Typically, I will buy what's called country sausage. I live in the South, so it's kind of easy to get like lower bullshit made breakfast sausage for some reason. Because typically it's just, you know, it's slammed with like maltodextrin and all these like weird emulsifiers to kind of give it like weird, like these textures. But I found one brand down here that I like. It's called Dean, and it does have a little, I believe it has corn syrup solids in it, which isn't ideal, but I'm also lazy, so I usually get that if I want it. Other than that, like, I will make my own occasionally, probably once or twice a year, but I also just don't eat that much breakfast sausage or too much sausage in general. Not anymore lately, anyways, because I can just eat way too much of it and make myself sick on it. Let's see. The Baconator is a sign of beauty. I recently saw Anthony 5 salts meat. I want to say if it is just do that. I mean, you could do that if you want. It's whatever works really for you. I would check out Thomas DeLauer. His channel was really good. Has really good information on intermittent fasting, and a lot lately on the difference between intermittent fasting and calorie restriction. Yeah, so you should definitely check him out if you're more interested in that. Totally agree that cheddar is bland on a burger. You are creative and spot on with your palate. I love when I get an alert. Well, I'm glad you enjoy what I do. I really do. Keep up the great work. It's so cool to watch a professional chef at work, and your recipes are unique and amazing. A nice change up from plain meat. I've made so many recipes. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you did. If any of you ever make any of my recipes and you want to send pictures of them, please do. I'd love to see them. I like reposting them. You have a good night too. Hope you see you in the next one. And by the way, whenever I do these recipe videos, this is the 2 times a week that I eat, you know, whatever that is. I typically, like I said, typically eat just ground beef and goat cheese and a whole chicken. That's my typical diet a day. And then I'll make 2 videos a week of whatever, and that'll be my whatever I eat that day. Jason Fung is the king of intermittent fasting. He's also a good one. His books are great too. The Diabetes Code and the Obesity Code. They're really, really good books. Very interesting. All right, I think that about does it for me. Appreciate everyone hopping on and chatting with me. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in supporting my cookbook, you can go to indiegogo.com/at/CarnivorousChef. There's a bunch of tiers on there. I'm really excited and I'm really grateful for all of the support so far. You can also check out my company. It's Carnivore Companion, carnivore.companion on Instagram, carnivorecompanion.com. Use the code CCINSTA10 to save 10% off your order if you're interested in trying any of it out. We have 3 different seasonings. We're working on more as we speak. Like this video, check out my other videos. Yeah, appreciate y'all. Hope you have a good night, and I will probably be back here next Monday. I'm gonna try to keep this a regular thing on Mondays, so just keep an eye on the YouTube community section, and you'll see posts from me. So, you have a good night.